Hello, great and wonderful people. Great peace, great joy fills and overshadows me. It is not always a joy but an honor to serve my people, sons and daughters of Africa and humanity at large. We can of ourselves do nothing. I can of myself do nothing. It is the mother, father within. The father, mother within, that does it all. The yin and the yang, that does it all. I only declare, thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence. God is all that there is. He's so close to us than our breath and nearer to us than our hands and feet. It is in Him we live, move, and have our being. I continue to heal the world from all negativity and all sorts. I radiate peace, love, and light to all. It is Thursday, July 21st. In my world in Ontario, Canada, my world is always full of joyous activities, unbroken progress, and great expectancy. I create my own realities. All of it, not some of it. All of it. I live my life from within to the without. I am in the world, but I'm not of the world at all. I work with my intuitions. That is the still small voice of God only. I'm a lady of gratitude. Thus, let the whole world join me to say, thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Finally, the enlightenment, truth, and light has reached my beloved continent, Africa. I love my people. I love them dearly. Africa is no longer a dark continent. We found the truth, and we are practicing the truth in every nook and corner of my life. I see it in my imagination all the time, and I'm very much aware. If I can see it in my mind, I can definitely hold it in my hands. It is just so wonderful, amazing, and beautiful. If I can see it in my mind, I can definitely hold it in my hands. It's just so wonderful, amazing, and beautiful. My dearly beloved, let us imagine in our minds that we are friends, sitting in a garden, perhaps the Garden of Eden, admiring God's beauty and nature as God works through me to talk to you on this subject, on this topic, and the world at large. I love beauty. It ignites the light in me. You have your own self to blame if you don't take lessons from today's topic. So the topic for today and the text for today is, we can find that in John 4:23. And it says, yet a time is coming when has now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seek. John 4:23. Yeah, you can find that there. And the topic for the day is, don't sign blank checks into the universe. Don't sign blank checks into the universe. Signing blank checks is the negative things you think of or say to yourself, and it will come to pass in your life, whether you mean it, whether you mean what you say or what you don't say. Some people, they always say it's only a joke, but your subconscious mind doesn't take a joke. It takes you at your word and brings it to pass in your life. So don't sign blank checks in the universe. Otherwise, you will continue to live in your own bubble and spiral down in life. We must be pure in our thinking, as God is pure, to be in alignment with God all the time. In that way, we can confidently say we are one with the Father and form a majority in all things in our life endeavors. We form a majority with God in all things in our life and also in our life endeavors. We injure ourselves by our own wrong thinking. M.A. Fox, he taught me that. So purity or righteous thinking is thinking good about yourself, your fellow human being, your neighbor, and the world at large. That's it. Going to church is good, but that doesn't make you pure. And that is what majority have had it wrong from the beginning up to now. Doing the work of God, such as leading the Bible study, being a Sunday school teacher, singing in the choir, it's all good. But to do all these things and full of negative emotions of grudges, anger, hate, spite, malicious intentions, gossip, and think ill about your fellow human being, makes an individual to sin or miss the mark. Get it right. So my duty towards you is to expose you to the truth, and you have a choice to make. You can either throw it away or work with it. But one thing I can assure you is that you are the product of your choices. You are the product of your thoughts. You have a mind, and I expect you to use it to think. So you sign blank checks when you make statements such as, there's not enough to go around. There's shortage of this and that. I can't afford this and that. I can't pay the rent, the bills, or the mortgage. You can't just win. Life is for the best. You mustn't. You can't. You won't. You will fail. It is of no use. You are all wrong. What is the use? Nobody cares. There's no point in trying so hard. You just can't win. If you are full of fear for the future, you are full of fear and writing a blank check you are attracting all these negative conditions to you. Because thoughts are things. Your subconscious mind will accept your fears and negative statement and proceed its way to bring obstacles, delays, lack, and limitations in your life. It may be true you don't have money to pay the bills, rent or mortgage, or you don't have money to even feed the children. Don't say it around. Don't say it. Don't verbalize it out. But turn it around and say something sweet. This is because there's a principle for abundance, none for poverty. So the more you keep on saying poverty, 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 I don't have this, I don't have that, and all that, you will continue to be poor. But even if you are poor and you start saying positive things to yourself, then you're on your way to be abundant. And take steps. Don't wait. Don't think you have to sit down for things to fall in your laps. It doesn't work that way. You have to be a participator. You have to take initiative rather than being anticipator, waiting for something to fall on your lap. It will never happen. So the more you say that, the more you create more of what you don't want. So the right thing to do is to acknowledge it, but don't dwell on it to create more of what you don't want. Don't dwell on your poverty to create more of what you don't want. So simple, sweet, something like, God is my source and God is my supplier. That's it. God is my source and supplier. It's my instant supply of money to pay this bill, rent, or mortgage. Then thank God. And that is faith. What does faith say? Calling forth the things that are not as if they are. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you are thanking God that even though you don't have the money to pay for the rent, for the bill, or to feed the children, you have it already, and it will come to you. That is life. That is called intelligent living. Africa has created their realities in a negative way by confessing all the time that they don't have, both individually and collectively. Our leaders are always saying they don't have, therefore they go to IMF and all these financial institutions to borrow all the time. Many have, but they bury what they have in the name of they don't have. Their subconscious minds dutifully and faithfully is creating what they confess. Your subconscious mind, the God in you, whatever, it doesn't matter the name you want to call it, cannot make comparisons or contrast. It does not think or reason on its own, but accepts you on what you say. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with you too. And let's remind ourselves with Isaiah 45 verse 7. And it says, I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and I create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. So God is working in your direction. What you say to yourself, your thinking patterns, your thought processes, your mental images, whether it's good or bad. My mentor, Dr. Joseph Murphy, taught me that a human being is really invisible because others do not see your faith. And it's true. Aspiration, confidence, your confidence or the life principle within you. So when we recall you are internal and immortal human being, that is a real you. You are not a victim of circumstances or a slave of condition, except you think you are. The truth of life is everything in your world is a manifestation of faith in the unseen. Let me repeat it again. The truth of life is that everything in your world is a manifestation of faith in the unseen. My mentor, Dr. Joseph Murphy, taught me that. And I believe it, and I work with it, and I know it is true. The omnipotent God is responsive to your thoughts and feelings. Millions of people are psychologically and spiritually blind. People are mentally and spiritually blind when they are hateful, spiteful, full of grudges, bitterness, resentment, malicious intentions, and wicked intentions towards a fellow human being. They do not realize they become what they think all day long. Many also talk hopelessly, as if there's no way out of their problems. With what humanity has gone through with COVID-19 pandemic, many, including men and women of God, are saying the world is coming to an end, putting fear in the people. Such an attitude is all result of mental blindness and signing blank checks into the universe. We begin to see spiritually and mentally when we gain a new understanding of our mental powers and develop an awareness that the wisdom in our subconscious mind can solve all problems. Everyone should be aware of the interaction between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and we will begin to think well, and that will make a huge difference in our lives. Through that, those who were blind will begin to see the vision of health, wealth, happiness, and peace of mind, but not miss the mark to identify with peace, harmony, wisdom, and perfect health. Suggestion is a tremendous power force. And that is what they are using, men and women of God mostly use. Suggestion is a tremendous, powerful force. It is important to know that different people will react in different ways depending on their subconscious mind conditioning. Now, the suggestion of others have no power over you except you accept it mentally yourself. Whatever suggestion or power, suggestive power people have had on you, all this while is because you gave your power to them through your own thoughts. You believed it. You've accepted it through your own thoughts. That means signing a blank check and into the universe and creating your own realities. You accepted it mentally, whatever people told you. So from the day you were born, we are all bombarded with negative suggestions, not knowing how to counteract them. We accept these statements or phrases unconsciously as a reality and becomes part of us. Again, all these phrases are signing blank checks into the universe. You will fail. You have not got a chance. You are all wrong. It is not what you know, but whom you know. What is the use? Nobody cares. There's no point in trying so hard. The things are getting worse and worse. Life is an endless grind. You never amount to anything. All these are suggestings. And when you say it to repeat, when people tell you and you repeat it too, you are signing blank checks into the universe. Auto-suggesting is saying something specific to yourself. And hetero-suggesting is what people say to you. You can use constructive auto-suggesting, which is a reconditioning therapy to change the impression made on you in the past. Or you can use affirmation. And affirmation is not the creation of a new situation, but a reverse of a negative experience to the original state. Remember, God created everything and declared everything good, including human beings. So to affirm is to say so. You are saying how things should be, but not how things are. Or you are saying who you should be, who you were created to be, or who you were born to be, but not what you are now. There's a principle for health, none for sicknesses. A principle for beauty, none for ugliness. A principle for success, none for failure. A principle for poverty, a principle for prosperity, none for poverty. A principle for honesty, but none for dishonesty. So get it right. And it's home in his book, This Thing Called You, on page 119. Gave a very wonderful affirmation, and I've been using it. and you'll be happy for you to use his work too. Just source it. Just source where you took it from, and you are good. There are so many affirmations in that book which are very empowering, and I encourage you to buy the book and use it. There will come a time you will not feel like doing it anymore. Some people, it takes weeks, some people months, others years. We are all different depending on the job you're going to do. So it's entirely up to you. Don't compare yourself with others at all. For me, it took longer because of the job I'm going to do, but some people have told me it took weeks, and you will not feel like doing it anymore. That means you have impressed your subconscious mind well enough to stop. So you can do it in the morning or in the evening when you are about to bath. When you go in the bath, you can say it, or when you lie on your bed, you say it and sleep, and your subconscious mind picks on your last word, and that is how you can be transformed. So he gave a very wonderful affirmation, and I want to read it out to those who don't, especially those people in Africa, so that they can write it down and say it every evening. As I said, he's written so many affirmations here, and those in the diaspora can buy this book or order it from Amazon so easily and use it, and that is how you be a changed person and discover yourself. Page 119, this thing called you, and it's Holmes. Yeah, it's also the Art of the Science of Mind. That is a very big book. I've read it too. The law of good is flowing through me. That is affirmation. The law of good is flowing through me. I am one with the rhythm of life. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be uncertain about. God is over all, in all, and through all. God is right where I am. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with everyone around me. I'm at peace with the world in which I live in. I'm at home with the divine spirit in which I am immersed. It's wonderful, and it's Holmes. So you can use this affirmation. I used it and it works. That is why I'm giving you. I'm giving it to you. So to those of you in Africa, you can take it from where I said it. Oh yeah. And those of you in the diaspora, you can order it from Amazon and continue to use it. So never say I can't. Never say I can't, because the God in you can do everything. And whenever you start a negative statement and you realize it, don't finish it. You must be careful to give your subconscious mind suggestions that heals, blesses, strengthens, and empower you. By accepting his suggestion of this kind, of all that I read to you, as a child, you were helpless when faced with this suggestion. So you accepted it. And from people who were even important in your life. You didn't know any better because you were a child. Now that you're an adult, you're able to make your own choice. That is why you need this affirmation to reprogram your subconscious mind. So begin to think from the standpoint of internal truth and principles, but not from the standpoint of fear, ignorance, and superstition. Do not let others do your thinking for you. Choose your own thoughts and make your own decision. With your conscious mind, you share it with the world. But with your subconscious mind, it is you and God alone. That's whatever you say to yourself, that is what God does for you. That's if you say, I'm smart, I'm strong, God stamps and affirms it for you. If you say, I'm stupid, crazy, dumb, as we normally hear people say, God stamps or affirms it for you too. That is the reason for the memory verse, Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. But God is not the one God responds to your mental imageries. Get it right. He responds to your mental imageries, your thinking patterns, your thought processes. So whatever you say, God affirms it for you. So it is not God, it is you. The hidden truth is God never says no to anyone. Whatever you say, God says yes. This is the deeper meaning of as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, you are what you think about all day long. So if you know this truth, you learn how to take responsibility and accountability for your actions and trace everything to yourself and not blame people and not react to things. There's only one you, but not duplicate or photocopy of anyone. God never repeated himself with anyone. That is why I always use the restaurant analogy, day in and day out. You order what you want through your thinking, and God affirms whatever you say, and or does it for you. Always ask yourself, who is thinking and feeling all these emotions? And you realize that you are. So whether your emotions are good or bad, it is you. Others can't think, sleep, breathe, or do etc. for you. They can only comment on what you think about yourself, what is within you, your mental or the inner state. So don't go after people. The power is not in them at all. The power is in you, not others. Therefore, no one can mar your destiny. That's why I said with your conscious mind, you share it with the world. But with your subconscious mind, it's you and God alone. So what you say to yourself is what God does for you. You are an independent soul. You are the only thinker in the universe. Get it right, my lovely people. That's if you don't like what is being displayed in your outer experience, you have to change it. But not others who have to change that for you. Many have it wrong up until now. My people, the black man or woman listening to me, my uncle, my fellow black man, both on the continent and in the diaspora, it is very obvious we don't like what is said about the black man or woman. Always the black man this, the black man that. Even when we are in trouble, people don't say anything good about us. We don't like it, but we are looking for others to do that change. And that won't happen. We are looking for a certain liberation, but we rely on the government or the politicians to do that. But there's so much they can do. They can do that. They can do it. The citizens put their trust in the government and politicians because they are deceived all the time, because the candidate wanting to come to power promises the citizens so much. We, the citizens, have to be the change agents, or better still, our own rescue in what we are looking for. Rather than looking from it from people, from the government, politicians, they can't do anything for us. There's an extent they can go. My people, slavery happened 400 years or many years ago, but we hold it so dearly as if it happened yesterday. We continue to live in our past, and this is very dangerous. The black man or woman is yet to know that out of pain, the purpose is found. Universal law of polarity says it's a good and bad in everything. So concentrate on the good and draw it to you. This is the time we must focus on the good side of slavery and let the pain bless us. We must intelligently, intentionally, consciously, and responsibly flip this pain to live a purpose-driven life. That's all. We are coming out with the book. And we've written extensively on that. The truth of life is what we focus on gets bigger or expands. Whether you'll agree with me or not, believe it, what I'm saying or not, accept it or not, that is the truth, aware of it or not. So what are you going to do? I throw it back to people. Napoleon Hill, everybody knows him. If you don't know, please Google and find out. He said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with its seed of an equal or greater benefit. So it's our responsibility to look for the benefit of slavery and let it bless us. Princess Marford also said, a person who sets his or her mind on the dark side of life, who lives over and over the misfortune and disappointment of the past, prays for similar misfortunes and disappointments in the future. If you see nothing but ill luck in the future, you are praying such You are praying for such ill luck and you surely get it. I found this quote in the book The Secret by Rhoda Bryan, and it was interesting the way I found this quote. I'd watched all the clips on my phone and on TV on The Secret several times and took my lessons. In my homelessness, I didn't see the reason why I should buy the book at all, especially when I was even hard pressed with money. Anyway, I pushed and put my ego in check and bought the book. And when I bought the book, I was flipping through the pages to see what lessons do I need more in the book to send it to my people. So my eyes were open to this quote by Princess Marford. And that led me to read the book again. And the book even got torn in my bag. I used this book a lot on my spiritual journey, and I had so many things on me when I was homeless. So the book got torn. I recently bought one again. I will read and put it into my own words and send it to my people, sons and daughters of Africa and humanity at large. I worked on myself because my past wasn't good and I didn't want to repeat any of my past issues. That enabled me to put issues in its right perspective, and I'll be able to thank all those who hurt me freely. And that is my success story. Now, I acknowledge, as black people, we've gone through so much. All that happened to us wasn't right. All that happened to us wasn't right. We know that. There's no doubt that the black man or woman has gone through a certain pain. It was not only painful but excruciating. I condemn it with every breath in me. I'm not condemning people's personalities, but people's actions, utterances, and behaviors. My people, the truth is, if you don't know who you truly are, you cannot be the man or woman you were born or created to be, on all that we're born to be. You will engage in what is termed as fighting against circumstances or quarreling with the world, as if the world owes you something. Meanwhile, the world owes you nothing. Nothing at all. My uncle, auntie, my grandma, my grandpa, my sister, my brother, my daughter or son listening to me. If you don't know who you truly are, then you cannot be the man or woman you were born to be. And you ignorantly feel the whole world is against you. But it is you. You have the wrong perspective of life. This is the hard truth you have to accept. This is the time to look at slavery in the positive way. The world is looking for you to put your talents to work so that they can echo your praise. The world is looking for you to fulfill your sacred path in the universe. Add your contribution of value to the world to make the world a better place. That is all the world is looking from you. That is all. Nothing at all. This is a time to flip and learn about the universal law of polarity. The problem with us as black people is that we simply don't know certain truths and cannot let things go and cannot let things die. That is our problem. This negative attitude is creating havoc among us, both individually and collectively. Also, we want to revenge for what happened to us 100 years ago ourselves. And that is not how the world runs at all. It is never about how we think things should be. It is never that. It is never about how we want things to be, think things should be, or perceive things should be. But it's about how things are done or how things works in the universe. All is all. All is thought. All is law and order in the universe, my people. Again, we feel it is our right and time for revenge for the wrongdoing that happened to us and our loved ones in that past. Unfortunately, that is a wrong mindset to have. That is not how the world runs. Scripture says, vengeance is not ours, but the Lord's. We feel it's our right to help God. I don't know. So we have taken the vengeance into our own hands. And this vengeance is playing havoc with us every day. With think it is our place to fix and straighten people, but that is not our place at all. This wrong mindset is playing havoc in our life. It's playing havoc in our lives every day. And what we focus on gets bigger and bigger and bigger or expands. And this is the law. And nobody fights the law. Nobody argues with the law. Everybody obeys it. Just look at the plants, how they all work wonderfully, beautifully. There's no genuine love among us at all. I witness a lot in so many sectors. Don't we see anything? Don't we see anything we lay our hands on? It doesn't work. We only copy what others are doing. And we are perpetual consumers of what people have done and brag about it all the time. That is what we do. We cannot create our own originality of things because we don't even know that we have to be on the creative plane, not on the competitive plane. We don't know that. So the black man or woman, both on the continent and in the diaspora, is known for all the bad reasons. Someone told me our race is a cursed race, and I didn't agree with the person at all. And I corrected the person right there. To him or her, he or she has done it all with our race, and I've given up. It didn't work for him or her. The person was rather pitying me and wished me luck in what I was doing. I'm like, okay. The person didn't realize he or she was rather talking out of ignorance and didn't realize I am fulfilling my second purpose in the universe. My people, it is the power of God working through all of us to accomplish His own good pleasure. I can of myself do nothing, my lovely listeners. I'm always calm, centered, and I raise my consciousness into the universe for the power of God to work through me. God doesn't do things to us or for us, but works through us. So I'm always declaring, thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence. And to the enlightened person, whatever happened to us, slavery, happened for us to show forth God's glory. It didn't happen to us, but it happened for us. The enlightened knows this. But our problem is within us. And the solution to our problem is all within us. But the black man or woman doesn't know it. Thus, many black men and women, they don't know this at all. They are yet to know. As I said in my other topic, the black man or woman has to tweak his or her thinking and all will be well with us. We don't know something, and that something is that our thoughts and feeling create our realities and destinies. Spiritual matters has to be solved spiritually, not physically at all. In 2021, I gave a message and I'm repeating it. You can be a positive force, helping build what is in the organization and community, or a negative force tearing it down. Who are you at all, and what are you going to do? I love throwing the question to people because it is not up to me. And my duty to you is to expose you to the truth, and yours is to throw it away or work with it. The fact that many continue to inflict pain on others means they don't understand the repercussions of their actions and behaviors at all. If they did, they'll probably think twice before inflicting any form of pain on others. The universe has got this. God has got this. The universe wants us to concentrate and focus on ourselves. Focus on yourself, and God will bring you all the blessings you are entitled to. Don't you see you go to church all the time, but there's something you are missing with regards to the promises in the Bible? Don't you see you are living in a limited context? That doesn't that bears false witness of God. It doesn't glorify God. It doesn't glorify God at all. Can you imagine the black man or woman goes to church all the time, but the angels are unemployed? Let me repeat it. Can you imagine the black man or woman goes to church all the time, but the angels are unemployed? It calls for you and I to think Think, and think. Scripture says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And the truth is what I'm presenting to you. And as I said, you have a right to throw it away or to work with it. What are you going to do? But I can assure you, if you work with it, the ramifications, it's just so wonderful, amazing, and empowering. That is what I did. When you work with the truth, oh my God, you will shake my hand when you see me. Many have asked me, what is the benefit of changing their thoughts? And my question is, what is the theoretical foundation of trying to change your thoughts if you don't understand what you are doing? Thoughts are things, and God is thought. God never created heaven and earth with his bare hands, but thought it to be. You are thought being too. That's what thought has implanted in us. The same thought can uproot. Dr. Frank Crane, he says, our best friends and our worst enemies are our thoughts. A thought can do us more good than a doctor or a banker or a faithful friend. It can also do us more harm than a brick. Oh my God. And my favorite mentor, James Allen, he says, you are today where your thoughts are brought you. You'll be tomorrow where your thoughts will take you. So these two quotes and many more were game changers for me in shelter, and I offer it to you too, willingly and wholeheartedly. I began in the shelter, I began to research more, and I listened to more renowned speakers who talk about the power of thought. My curiosity took me far, and I realized this is the missing ingredient in the life of the black man or woman. Again, my custom-made husband, Egelmimano Mensah, and I have raised gigantic men and women on the African continent for 6 years, and we are raising more. We've instilled and engraved these truths and principles into them. Despite the excruciating pain and all the difficulties of being homeless in a developed country, and our 3 jewels in foster care in the midst of the pandemic, we were not going to give up. We were not going to stop. We had found our purpose and were living it despite the consequences. Despite the excruciating pain, our minds were made up. We love our people. We were ready to die for our people with the truth that we have found. But here we are. We didn't die. We didn't die at all. We rose up. And we have emerged victorious, courageous, strong, built character and integrity and all that. We fought the battle mentally, but not physically. The battle is not to the physical anymore, but mentally. Mind is the master. Mind rules the world. The next frontier of evolution is the mind. As I said in my other topic, I'm a spiritual being on a human adventure. I'm also a treasured daughter of God on an important earthly mission. So everyone give me the way and let me do my job effectively, efficiently, intelligently, and beautifully for God, but not human being at all. That shouldn't be difficult. Should it? There's an urgent need for healing and forgiveness, both on the continent and in the diaspora, for the black man or woman not to live in the past, but to reprogram his or her subconscious mind to godly, constructive, and positive thinking in order to be all that he or she was born to be and take the rightful place in the world. And we have to do that first. And when we do that, God shall wipe away all the pain and the suffering, both on the continent and in the diaspora, as our collective prayer says. We have to take that initiative first. For God doesn't depend on us. We do. God doesn't rely on us. We do. We have to raise our hands and say, enough is enough. The word color of the skin reminds one of old hurt and wounds and excruciating pain that should be changed to expression of God. The black man or woman must be given a new identity, but not signing black checks into the universe in negativity. The right mindset is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. For those who are not Christians too, they can say, what others have done, I can do it too. The power within is my helper. So either way, no one is lost at all. Either way, everyone is covered. We have to establish a new major premise in our thinking, and all will be well with the black man or woman. This way and no other way. This way and no other way. And we say together, thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence. It is done. Life is not complicated, confusing, or stressful, but joyously abundant and grateful when you don't sign blank checks into the universe. As a matter of truth, my custom-made husband, Emmanuel Mensah, who is also my spiritual partner, both of us are hard bent for humanity to discover this truth. Do not let others do your thinking for you. You have a mind, and I expect you to use it to think. Choose your own thoughts and make your own decisions in life, and don't sign blank checks into the universe. This negative mindset keeps you trapped in your own bubble, and you continue to spiral down in life. This is the most exciting time to be alive. If an individual understands all that is going on in our world, be sincerely blessed and enlightened by the topic. The book of Proverbs says, in all our getting, let us get understanding. Time to leave the garden, my friend. And please think, and make your own decision about the new topic. The new consciousness for the 21st century for everyone is the determination to redefine one's destiny to conquer the world. The time has come, and is now is the hour that in this 21st century, everyone has to worship God in truth and in spirit. This is our awakening that awakening to the truth that the power to do anything and to be is within us but not outside us. That every soul was created in the image and likeness of God. Each one of us is on earth to add his or her contribution to the world, to make the world a better place. No human being was shortchanged at birth, and no human being will be shortchanged. There's no photocopy or carbon copy of you. You are a unique individual, and you are full of limitless potentials and possibilities. It is your sole job or responsibility to bring it out by connecting with the power within you in calmness and quietness. This power is the breath of your own life, which keeps you alive and everything in order. There are no more excuses, pointing fingers at others and indulging in blinkeries for anyone in the 21st century. We have wasted too much time, and we've lived in ignorance about the subconscious mind and universal laws and principles for far too long. Everything is now, my dear. Everything is now. And it is time for change on the African continent. As a child of God and a citizen of the universe, I invite all, especially those who believe in the law of divine oneness and diversity, as we march majestically for the creation of a new Africa and a new black race. I imagine in my mind, we all say together a collective prayer. And our collective prayer goes like this: and God shall wipe away all the pain, suffering, and disappointment from the face of Africa and all black communities in the diaspora through the collective effort of all of us. There will be no more poverty, no more lack, no more wars, no more diseases, no more underdevelopment, no more street violence, no more armed robbery, no more gun crimes and drug culture in all black communities, both on the continent and in the diaspora. The former Africa and the former black race have passed away at the appearance of the new Africa and the new black race. We now know the truth, and we are all soaring to take our rightful place in the universe. And our slogan, it goes like, one people, one continent, one race, one destiny. In Africa, when the citizens begin to think clearly, to realize that they cannot kill their fellow human beings for ritual purposes or for money, then Africa will no longer be referred to as a dark continent, but enlightened continent. This is a time in the 21st century that every African has to consciously unthink all the negative thoughts that have been embedded in our racial subconscious mind, to clean and clear the mind, to invent, innovate, and bring forth ideas that will move the human evolution forward. What thoughts have implanted in our subconscious mind, the same thought can uproot. We want a group of Africans to form the critical mass to redefine our continent, so that together we all can think big and do great things. This is a time to free the African from the mental bondage, shackles, and all sorts of negativity, and expose them to the real source and location of power, to invent and innovate, to move the evolution forward. The location of power is not in charms, amulets, under the bed, on your waist, and all sorts. The African has been disempowered for far too long. It is time to give power to every African, as within, so without, as in heaven, so on earth, as above. So, as in heaven, so on earth, as above, so below. As above, so below. As within, so without. As in heaven, so on earth, as above, so below. As it is, and up until now, Africans are stalling the process of evolution, and it has to stop. It has to stop. God deposited it in us something. If you look at Africa right now, it is all inhabited by black people. Our continent is not a diverse continent at all, and it doesn't depict the glory and presence of God. Diversity is the strength of a nation. Every enlightened person knows and believes what diversity is and knows what I'm talking about. We have to clean our environment and surroundings first from all filth, and change our mindset first, and invite all to come and taste of the goodness of God in our lives. When the carnal mind says it cannot be done or it's impossible, the mind with the vivid and clear imagination says it's already done. It's already done. Thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence, that it is done. Philippians 2:13, for it is God who works in you both to will and to do his own good pleasure. I'm the co-founder of Eagle Mentality Group. At EMG, we dedicate ourselves with the teaching and propagation of the subconscious mind. We also believe in diversity. As diversity is the strength of a nation, we accept both the rich and the poor, the educated and uneducated, the downtrodden, the ordinary, the have-not, the homeless, and everyone, to create a new Africa based on the subconscious mind and universal laws and principles. This is Eagle Helen Mensah. I'm a child of God and a citizen of the universe. A wishower to my people, sons and daughters of Africa and humanity at large. I love humanity, and I give love to humanity, and it comes back to me not only in million folds but in billion folds. I give love to humanity, and it comes back to me not only in million folds but in billion folds. I wish you all that I wish for myself, and all the blessings in the universe, such as joy in your soul, perfect peace that passes all understanding, good health, abundance, and much more. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you kindly.